Wow, this is terrific, folks. It's wonderful to have you with us tonight and such a nice audience. We really appreciate it. We're glad you're here with us. And so we're here for a Leap Day concert. We're thrilled you could join us. We're grateful to Hebron Director of Bands, David Lee, as well as Mr. Lee's students and everyone here in Hebron for making tonight's concert possible. It's exciting to have Mr. Lee serving as Director of Bands in Hebron. He's continuing the tradition with which I am familiar, with previous exemplary leadership and teaching from John Shotliff, Rick Cheek, and Rob Teal. The last time I had the privilege of conducting in this beautiful auditorium was in November of 2006, when I was leading the Indiana Bandmasters Association All-Region Honor Band. If I recall correctly, this facility had just opened at that time. In that concert, we premiered the 14th commission of the Indiana Bandmasters Association, Voices, Conversation, and Blues, by Indiana composer Dr. Lissa May. I'll tell you more about the Indiana Bandmasters Association commissioning project after our opening composition. Our first selection is a joyful composition that celebrates Leap Day. Composer Adrian Kinsey is a conductor and composer in the San Francisco area. The Indiana Bandmasters Association, or IBA, represents bands and band conductors at all levels. One of IBA's great and unique programs is the Commissioning Project, which started in 1988. IBA contracts with prominent composers to write music for the All-Region Middle School Honor Band, All-District High School Honor Band, Junior All-State Band, and All-State Band. Winindiana is the only band to have played all 36 of the commissions, which includes extra research on each work that helps conductors learn more about the music. Most of the remainder of tonight's program will showcase the newest commissions of the Indiana Bandmasters Association. Award-winning Dutch composer Johan de May is a good friend to Winindiana and to the bands at Valparaiso University, having conducted in the VU Chapel on 5 occasions. We commissioned and performed the premiere of his 5th Symphony in 2018. In 2022, the combined band of Winindiana and the VU Chamber Concert Band became the first band in the world to have performed all 5 of Maestro de May's symphonies with the composer conducting. The 34th commission of the Indiana Bandmasters Association was Los Cuatro Vientos by Johan de May. It was composed for the 2021 All-Region Honor Bands. Mr. de May's title is a play on words with homonyms, the 4 winds, 4 winds. In this music, you'll hear 2 of Johan de May's great strengths: beautiful melodies — he's a fan of Romantic-era composer Giacomo Puccini — and interesting harmonies. We're especially proud of this commission because the IBA member who invited Mr. de May to compose the work was Winindiana's own Matthew Hibbets from our tuba section. Please thank Matt for us. Here are the 4 short movements of Los Cuatro Vientos by Johan de May. I know we have lots of Hebron band members in the audience. Let's hear from you. Good, that's wonderful. We also have a busload of band members from Morgan Township School with their teacher, Mr. Day. Let's hear from you too, please. Fantastic. It's so great to have you here. We really, really appreciate it. Winindiana is proud to bring music to our communities. Many Winindiana members are music teachers, so they're demonstrating music education in action by performing for you at the highest level. If your band director or private teacher is playing in Winindiana, please give that person an extra thank you the next time you are together. In its ongoing efforts to support diversity in music, the Indiana Bandmasters Association commissioned Kevin Day to compose Summit. Summit is IBA's 33rd commission and was premiered by many Indiana bands in 2020. Along with two arrangements by Michael Boo in 2016, On the Banks of the Wabash Far Away and Back Home Again in Indiana, Summit was written for all bands in our state. Kevin Day earned degrees from Texas Christian University and the University of Georgia. He's working toward a doctoral degree at the University of Miami. Mr. Day is a jazz pianist, conductor, and composer from the San Diego area. The Michigan City Municipal Band has commissioned Mr. Day to write a work for euphonium and band. The premiere is scheduled for the summer of 2025 with the U.S. Marine Band's Gunnery Sergeant Hiram Diaz as soloist. Mr. Day describes Summit as a group working together as a team to forge its way up the face of a mountain, dealing with steep cliffs and chilling winds, eventually working to the very top. In this music, you'll hear several versions of rhythms that set up mathematically as 3 against 2. Here's Summit by Kevin Day. As you know, it takes a great deal of support to stage a concert like this. In addition to Mr. Lee and the Hebron Band students, I'd like to recognize a number of other people who have made it possible for Winindiana to perform here tonight. I apologize if I've accidentally left out any names, and I also apologize for any mispronunciation. Thanks to administrators, Superintendent Jeff Brooks, High School Principal Aaron Auney, Middle School Principal Matt Beam, Elementary School Principal Tim Prickle, Secretary to the Superintendent Helen LaViolette, School Board members President Nilsson, Vice President Franzman, Secretary Buchanan, Board Member Cunningham, Board Member Michalik, Music Department faculty Lisa Bean, Elementary Music, Betty Crampon, Choir, David Lee, Band. Band Boosters Leadership, Judy Kahn, Sarah Jenkins, Julianne Smith, Kurt Smith. Custodial staff, Maintenance Director Kyle Kinney, Staff Member Lynn, Staff Member Tracy, and auditorium staff, David Santifanto and Larry Neese. Please give them a round of applause. I heard some big cheers for Mr. Lee, so let's do that one again too. How about that? Mr. Lee. I feel the same way. That's awesome. IBA's 35th commission was composed for the 2023 Junior All-State Band. Craig Fitzpatrick is an award-winning composer and marching band drill designer who earned degrees from Bradley University and the University of Illinois. The work opens with rhythms based on eighth notes in 2 groups of 3, then 2 groups of 2, much like the theme from Mission Impossible by Lalo Schifrin. As the piece progresses, we hear rhythms that offset each other in a clever way. Basically, in many measures, one group is playing a fast pattern that fills in the rests from the fast pattern of the other group. You'll also hear some harmonies that to me sound like what might be a madness scene from a scary movie. Here is An Exercise in Madness by Craig Fitzpatrick. This is so fun. I'm really glad you're here. John Philip Sousa and his band performed 4 times in Porter County, 1898, 1904, 1907, and 1914 at the still functioning Memorial Opera House in Valparaiso. In those days, when the Sousa Band came to town, it was a major event. The program for the Sousa Band's 1898 tour included Indiana's state song, On the Banks of the Wabash Far Away, and our next selection, the Bride-Elect March. The Bride-Elect is an example of a piece that Mr. Sousa extracted from one of his famous and successful operettas. The very basic plot of the Bride-Elect concerns an arranged marriage that is disrupted when a former romantic acquaintance shows up. As you're listening, you'll note that the march begins in 6/8, then switches to 2/4 in the 3rd section. This means that the notes are grouped in 3s at the beginning, then they switch to groupings of 2 in the 3rd part. Here's the Bride-Elect March by John Philip Sousa. Those of you who attended our November concert will recall being dazzled by the performance of guest euphonium soloist Matthew Yee. Matthew is a senior at Valparaiso University, earning degrees in both music and engineering. His euphonium teacher is Professor Richard Watson. You may also recall that Matthew was being considered for appointment to the United States Coast Guard Band. Since November, Matthew completed 2 more live auditions with the Coast Guard Band, including playing in a full concert in the ensemble. You'll be very pleased to hear that just this last Friday, Matthew was notified that he had been selected for the position. In my experience, it's almost unheard of to have an undergraduate go directly into one of our nation's premier military ensembles. This is a truly remarkable achievement. Matthew will start with the band as soon as he graduates this spring. Michael Orr is a music educator from Virginia who plays clarinet in the Virginia Wind Symphony. He earned degrees from Old Dominion University. The Indiana Bandmasters Association commissioned Mr. Orr to write its 30th commission for the 2020 Junior All-State Band. I think you'll like the catchy melodies in this work. The basic idea of the composition is that Mr. Orr's use of syncopation plus accents in unusual places makes the beat sound like it's moving around, hence the title, Juxtaposition. The most complicated composition on tonight's program is Powerhouse by Benjamin Dean Taylor. It's IBA Commission 31 and was written for the 2020 All-State Honor Band. Dr. Taylor is an award-winning composer who lives in Bloomington, Indiana. He earned degrees from Bowling Green State University, Brigham Young University, and Indiana University. The opening and closing sections of Powerhouse showcase Dr. Taylor's skill in complex mathematical rhythms. If any of you have ever questioned how to apply the concept of the common denominator, you need just study the score for Powerhouse. Much of the music has rhythms that are heard as 2 against 3 and 3 against 4. Dr. Taylor also uses the asymmetrical meter of 7/8 and even includes 2 against 3 within that 7/8 meter. The slow section of the composition features interesting sound effects, some improvisational techniques, and an oboe solo that explores the very upper range of the instrument. Here's Powerhouse by Benjamin Dean Taylor. please give an extra round of applause to our oboe soloist, Andrea Kessler. Ms. Kessler teaches at Valparaiso High School and middle schools. Next on the program is Ancient Airs of Ireland by Michael Sweeney. Dr. Sweeney is a graduate of Indiana University and has more than 500 publications in print. He's been commissioned by a wide variety of groups, from middle school bands to the Eastman School of Music to the Canadian Brass. Dr. Sweeney serves as Director of Band Publications for Hal Leonard Corporation. Ancient Airs of Ireland is IBA Commission number 32 and was composed for the 2020 All-District Honor Bands. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the work was premiered by the 2021 All-District Honor Bands. The composition includes these tuneful airs: Return from Fingal, Lord Mayo, The Yellow Bittern, Captain O'Kane, Song of the Chanter, and Behind the Bush in the Garden. Here is Ancient Airs of Ireland by Michael Sweeney. Our closing number is Gilded Morning, which is the 36th commission of the Indiana Bandmasters Association. It was written for and premiered by the 2023 IBA All District Honor Bands. Are any of you in the audience? Yeah. All right, good. It's based on the hymn, When Morning Gilds the Skies. Composer John Wasson is an accomplished composer, arranger, conductor, and trombonist who teaches at Texas A&M University Commerce. Mr. Wasson has composed for the Dallas Symphony, Minnesota Orchestra, U.S. Air Force bands, and countless others. His arrangement of Caravan was performed in the final scene of the film Whiplash. He's performed with the Dallas Brass, Woody Herman, and Stan Kenton. Mr. Wasson studied at the University of North Texas. Before we performed Los Cuatro Vientos, I noted that we were proud of our own Matthew Hibbets for working with composer Johann de May in the creation of that work. Another Northwest Indiana band director worked with composer John Wasson in the creation of Gilded Morning. We're proud of the Reverend Dr. Jeff Vogelin of Fairhaven Baptist Academy in Chesterton for helping this beautiful piece come to fruition. Thanks again so much for attending our concert tonight, and thanks to everyone here at Hebron who made it possible. We're hoping that tonight is the beginning of a new tradition where Winindiana brings its concerts to local schools in November and February. We hope to see you all again on November 21 and February 27. We'll announce the locations as soon as we've identified the schools that are interested in serving as our hosts. Thanks again for being here tonight, and happy Leap Day. How about this? Let's change it from Leap Day to Lee Day. On the Banks of the Wabash, Far Away, by Frank Dresser. Our arrangement is IBA Commission 24 and was premiered in 2016 by the All-Region and All-District Honor Bands to celebrate Indiana's bicentennial. As I mentioned earlier, On the Banks of the Wabash, Far Away was also performed in Porter County on the 1898 tour of the Sousa Band.